Brief introduction about myself. I've done my schooling in Jawaharlal Vidyalaya, and then I did my engineering from IIT Kharagpur. I did my engineering in I did my bachelor's in technology in electrical engineering from IIT Kharagpur, and then I worked for various companies. I've been teaching in Arjuna from past more than 1 year. So, yes, students, that's a brief introduction about me. And generally, I would like to get introduce all of you to the class, but the strength is high, so let's skip your introduction part. So, all of you, I request all of you to mute yourself, okay? And if you have any query, you please raise that query in the chat. And if you would like to ask any question verbally, you mention the same request in the chat, and I will unmute you. So, yes, students. So let us begin the class. So I like to read books. Reading is one of my hobbies, and I recently read this book called *Sapiens*. It is written by Yuval Noah Harari. He is a PhD from University of Oxford, and he is a professor in one of the universities in Jerusalem. So here goes the introduction of his book in the first chapter. So let's see what he says in the book. I hope you are able to see this para on the screen, right? So all of you take a look at the para. Let's go through it briefly. About 14 billion years ago, matter, energy, time, and space came into being in what is known as the Big Bang. The story of these fundamental features of our universe is called as physics. You might have already heard about this name called Big Bang Theory, right? And it occurred 14 billion years ago from now. And what do you mean by billion? Billion means 100 crores, right? So 1400 crores years back, there is an event occurred which we call as Big Bang Theory. And from it, matter, energy, time, and space came into existence. And the study of this matter, energy, time, and space is what we call as physics. And shortly after, about 300,000 years, like 3 lakh years after their appearance, or after the event of Big Bang Theory, matter and energy, they started to coalesce. They started to combine, and they started to form complex structures called atoms and molecules. Okay, the story of these atoms and molecules and their interaction is what we call as chemistry. Right, students? So basically, study of atoms, molecules, and their interaction is what we call as chemistry. And again, going back in time, 14 billion years ago, like 400 crores years agar hum piche chalte hain, so on a planet called Earth, certain molecules combine to form a particularly large and intricate structures called organisms. Which means these atoms and molecules jo bhi form hua tha, there was a planet called Earth, and on that planet, due to so many favorable conditions, these atoms and molecules came into contact. They started to interact in such a way that they started to form very, very complicated and intricate structures. And they started to develop into what we call now as organisms. And the story of these organisms is called as what we call now as biology. Right, students? And once these organisms started to form, and let us, if you go back to 70,000 years from now, back again, these organisms belonging to Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens means right now what we can simply call as human beings, right? Started to form even more complicated and elaborate structures. And those structures which are formed by these Homo sapiens are none other than we human beings are called as cultures. And the subsequent development of these human cultures is what we call as history. Now, why am I telling you all these things? This physics, chemistry, and biology, in short, if we club them all together, is what we call as science. Right, students? So, science. Now my class is restricted to what we are going to do with this physics thing. Okay. So, if you ask me what is physics, I would say physics is a branch of science which deals about the nature, or to be precise, it deals about the matter, energy, and the laws of manifestation of this nature. Okay. Having said that, then physics पढ़ना क्यों जरूरी है हमारे लिए? Why is it necessary to study physics? The reason is that we study physics in order to understand this matter and energy. And it is important because you will be successful or you will be able to do anything only when you harness the energy and when you can use that energy to do some productive activities.
Okay,
Right?
okay, okay.
So, I request all students to mute yourself, okay? Okay. So, yeah, so let's come to physics. Physics ko, what can I say? I can say physics as physics is a branch of science which deals about nature and the manifestation of laws of nature. Or if you want to say in simple terms, you can say in physics we study about matter and energy and what are the different laws that are involved in this nature and all. For example, gravitation law, electrostatics law, all these things you have a rough idea. You might have studied all regarding these things in your 9th and 10th class, right? So when if you want to understand physics clearly, and physics में हम और एक चीज करते हैं कि we try to measure things, right? We try to measure different things and हम कोई किसी भी चीज को पढ़ने के लिए उसको measure करना बहुत जरूरी होता है. So let's try to see how we measure different things and what are physical quantities, what are units and all. So let's start with this simple chapter which deals about physical quantities. Okay. So physics में हम क्या करते हैं? Okay. I'll use English to as much extent as possible. So physical quantities, what are physical quantities? The quantities which are measurable in physics are called as physical quantities, right? So what are the examples of physical quantities? Yeah, you might have already studied in your 10th class that length, mass, time, speed, etc. are physical quantities, right? So physical quantities. What are the physical quantities? All things which can be measured. Right, students? So all things which can be measured, we can call them as physical quantities. If I ask you what are the examples of physical quantities, you can simply say they are length, mass, time, or you can say speed, etc. Right? All these things are examples of physical quantities because I can measure the length of a book. I can measure the length of a building. I can measure the length, that is nothing but distance between two cities. I can measure the mass of an object. I can measure the time taken to travel from city A to city B. I can measure the speed at which a train is being traveled, right? I can measure all these different things. Hence, I can call them as physical quantities. Now, we also come across this term called units, right? Then what is units? When we are measuring, when we are measuring these, like when we are trying to study these physical quantities, we also need to understand like certain things like when we try to compare two different physical quantities, we need to have certain things called units, right? So unit is a standard way which is used for measurement of physical quantity. Unit is a standard way for the measurement of physical quantity. Okay. So any examples of units? Units का example क्या होता है? What are the examples of units? The examples of units are, let's say, length units. You can measure these lengths in terms of meter, right? And what will be the unit of time? Time you can measure in terms of seconds, right? Or you can measure in terms of minutes, hours. Similarly, length you can measure in terms of kilometers or miles, maybe measure कर सकते हैं भी. And time we can measure in seconds, minutes, and hours, or days or years, right? So these are different units of different physical quantities. Now there are some things called fundamental quantities and derived quantities. What are fundamental quantities? Fundamental quantities are the physical quantities which does not depend on other physical quantities, right? For example, one thing is, students, I will be providing you all this material, okay? If you are having any doubt, you can ask me in the chat, or else I will be continuing with the same speed, okay? I will provide you the material. I will give you the questions also as homework at the end of the class. And what are the definitions, whatever I am giving to you, all the definitions will be there in the material, okay? Full form of SI unit is standard units. Actually, its name is in a foreign language, but if you convert it into English, the full form of SI is standard system of units. Okay. Okay. Let's call it fundamental units. Fundamental units or quantities, you can say. Fundamental quantities, which does not depend on other physical quantities. Okay. PQ matlab physical quantities which doesn't depend on other physical quantities. For example, time, what is the unit of time? Time unit is, let's say, second, right? This does not depend on anything. But let's take speed. Speed is what? Speed unit is meter per second, right? So in order to express the unit of speed, you need to express it in terms of two units. One is unit of length and one is unit of time, right? So here, what I can call is, I can call time as a fundamental physical quantity, whereas speed is an example for derived physical quantity. Right, students? Okay. So, yeah. And if you ask me what are the other fundamental physical quantities, you can say length, mass, temperature, and all those things. We will discuss all those things also. And derived physical quantities, you can say speed is a derived physical quantity, right? Or acceleration is a derived physical quantity, because acceleration units are what? Meter per second square radius, right? So to what I was saying is, let's say if you want to say acceleration, you need to say it as meter per second square. Now to express this, you need to express this in terms of unit of length upon unit of time square. So this is also a derived physical quantity. Now the problem came when the people or scientists or want to try to communicate these things to one another, because each and every country used to have their own unit system of units, right? So for example, the Western countries used to measure length in terms of meters and kilometers and all, whereas the people in USA or America, they used to measure distance in terms of miles. Okay, so in order to avoid the confusion between people, all the scientists came to a one particular standard of notation, and that is what we call as SI units of system. Okay, so SI units of system में क्या रहता है? Let us see. There are different types of systems. Okay, First one is, let's say, you can say it as FPS system, and second one, let's say CGS system, third one MKS system, and the fourth one is SI units of system. So FPS matlab, this is mostly British version. In FPS system, what you will be having? You will be having 3 units as your fundamental units, and they are foot, pound, and second. Right? Foot is a measure of distance, pound is a measure of weight, and second is a measure of time. Okay. Now examples of CGS units. In CGS we measure distance in terms of centimeter or length in terms of centimeter, and weight in terms of gram, and time in terms of second. In case of MKS system, we measure the physical quantities in terms of what? Mass in terms of kilograms, and times length in terms of meter, and mass in terms of kilograms, and time in terms of second. Now, as the different countries are measuring these physical quantities in different units, now scientists came to a single way of SI units and a single system of units, and those system of units through which worldwide is accepted is what we call as system of units, or you can call it as international system or system of units or international standard system of units. The person is asking what is the full form of SI. If you convert it into English, it will come as international system. This is the standard system which all the scientific journals or any standard education book follows. Okay, not just India, throughout the world. Yeah, in all these 3 FPS, CGS, MKS, and SI units, the basic unit of time is in seconds. Yeah, for example, in FPS units, if I ask you what is the unit of speed ka units kya hoga in the FPS system, it will be foot per second. Okay. In case of CGS units, if I ask you the unit of speed, what you will say? You will be saying centimeter per second. And if I ask you what is the MKS unit of speed, you will say what? Meter per second. Right? Now, similarly, let us look at this example of SI units. Okay. So, scientists have come to a conclusion or that we need only 7 physical quantities to derive any other physical quantity in physics. Okay. And they have mentioned those 7 physical quantities, 7 fundamental or 7 basic units in SI system. So let's study about this. We are most interested in this SI units of system or international system of units rather than all these rest of these 3. Okay. After this SI units, the most widely used is this CGS system. Okay. So let us discuss about this SI units of system very clearly. Okay. So basically, SI system has 7 basic units and 2 supplementary units. 7 basic units are there and 2 supplementary units are there. So let us see few examples of let us see what are the 7 basic units and these 2 supplementary units. So if you look at the screen now, you will be seeing these are the 7 fundamental units and the last 2 are 2 supplementary units. Here we can see clearly that length is a fundamental or basic SI unit and its unit is in meters, and generally we represent it with a symbol called small m. Okay, and mass is another basic unit. Its unit is in terms of kilograms. Okay, SI unit is kilograms or kgs, and symbol is kg. Okay, time, seconds, and represented by small s, and temperature is Kelvin represented by K. Another unit of temperature is what? It's degree centigrade. But please students know that degree centigrade is not the SI unit for temperature. The SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. Okay. And this is luminance of intensity, which indicates the strength or the brightness of a light, and we represent it with candela, or we can write this as CD. Okay. And you have studied electricity and magnetism in your 10th class, and you know the units of current is ampere, right? So electric current is also one of the fundamental or basic units, and its unit is ampere, and we denote it by a symbol called capital A. And the seventh one and the last one is amount of a substance. Amount of substance is given by mole, or you can represent it with MOL. Right? You know all of these, the 7 basic units, and these two, plane angle and the solid angle, are the called as supplementary angles. You all know plane angle. What is plane angle? Let's say, just I think you might be studying trigonometry in maths class, right? So in maths you have studied, let's say when you're studying triangles, let's say this is 90 degrees, and this is, let's say, 30 degrees, and this is 60 degrees. Okay, so in a plane, if you draw any two rays, okay, any two rays, this is what we call as the angle subtended by these two rays, right? This can be anything. This can be in terms of generally what we study, 60 degrees or 90 degrees, or 180 degrees, or something. It can be varying from any to any angle. This degree is also one of the unit of plane angles. Okay, this is what we call as plane angle, because this is happening in only single plane. Right? It can be a horizontal plane, vertical plane, it can be your plane on the paper in which you are writing and all. And the other way of notating this is, you can notate this 180 degrees as what? Pi radians, and you can notate this 90 degrees as what? Pi by 2 radians, and you can notate this also as what? Pi by 3 radians, right? These are the SI units for plane angles. Okay, this also called as, these are supplementary units. So similar supplementary units, not basic units, because let's say class 10, you know that if L is the length of the arc, and if R is the radius of this part of the circle, okay, and if this is theta, you can represent theta as what? You can represent sorry for the disturbance, students. There was a power loss. So I hope it is clear, right? Is my audio clearly? Is my audio clear to you, students? Yes. Okay. Let's continue the class. So I'm doing it speed because these are very basic things already studied. So I don't want to waste much of your time, and also respect your intelligence. So that's why we are going. I'm going a little bit fast. Okay. Okay. I'll repeat. I'll be repeating these last two: plane angle and solid angle. Okay. So. Yeah, students. So this plane angle, I think you have understood, right? Now let us come to this solid. Okay, I'll be repeating this plane angle once again. You have studied this plane angle in terms of trigonometry of 6th class, 7th class. So what I can say is, I can represent this angle as what you might have studied, that this is a 90-degree angle, or I can also say this as pi by 2 radians. Right? Both of these are different ways of notating plane angle. Plane angle units can be what? Plane angle units can be either degrees, may be accepted. You can write it in degrees, or you can write it in terms of radians. Okay, but in terms, when it comes to SI units, the unit of plane angle is radians. Clear? Similarly, there is this thing called solid angle. So, what is solid angle? All of you might have eaten cone ice cream, right? I think ice cream is one of your favorite eatables. So if this is a cone, right? Now, if I ask you what is the angle subtended by this cone at this tip, now this whole thing is not going to lie in a single plane, right? So this is what we call as the angle in a 3 dimension, or this is what we call as solid angle. And the unit of solid angle, we denote it in terms of something called steradians, okay? Steradians. And what is solid angle? Solid angle is the normal area upon the square of the radius. This is how we define plane angle. Plane angle, how did we define? We define plane angle as if this is your, let's say, if this is a sector of radius r and its arc length is given as L, then your plane angle is given by what? Theta equals to L by r. Correct? Similarly, plane angle का solid angle का definition ये है. You can, let us take a very simple case. Okay, if we take a very simple case, and what is that? Let's take a sphere. Okay, if this is a sphere of radius, let's say r. Okay, the sphere of radius r. Solid angle is defined as its normal surface area upon the square of the radius. Okay, so normal surface area, what will be the surface area of this sphere? It is going to be how much? 4 pi r square, right? Divide upon the radius square, you will get this as 4 pi steradian. Okay, and there won't be much of the use of the solid angle in your 11th and 12th class. It will be coming in just 1 or 2 formulas, that too in your 12th class. So it's okay if we don't go in detail about the solid angle also at this stage. Okay, so what we have learned so far is we are more interested in what are the SI units, and there are 7 basic SI units, and they are length, mass, time, temperature, luminance of intensity, electric current, amount of substance. And the plane angle and solid angle are called as supplementary units. Right, students? Okay. Now there are many factors that we attach to these units. For example, if I ask you what is the distance between Dharwad and Bangalore, you'd be saying 600 kilometers, right? You won't be saying 600 into 1000, that is 6 lakhs of meters of distance, because it will be highly inconvenient. Similarly, if I ask you what is the radius of a nuclei or radius of an atom, you will be saying 10 to the power of minus 14 meters or something like that. Or you can express the same thing in terms of angstroms, right? So there will be certain suffixes or what we call as multiple factors which we assign to the units. Let's see what are they. These are the multiple and submultiple factors which we attach to the units. Let's say if ten is what we call as deca in terms of multiple factors, okay, and 10 square is what we call as hecto, and 10 power 3 what we call as kilo. 10 power 6 is mega, 10 power 9 is giga, and 10 power 12 is tera. Why is this important? Is because let's say you might have done a work, okay, yeah, let's say the power of a machine is derived is told in terms of what? The unit of power is watt, right? Or I can express this also as joule per second. आपका घर में जो bulbs use करते हैं, the bulbs which you use in your household can be a 60 watt bulb or 100 watt bulb or something, right? So what do you mean when you say it's a 100 watt bulb? You say 100 watt bulb is a bulb which consumes or which delivers the energy of how much? 100 joules of energy per second, right, students? So this is a bulb power is very small, so it is okay if we express them in terms of watts. Similarly, there will be electric machines. It can be a motor or generator, which you use in your fields or households में आप जो use करते हैं. it can be in terms of kilowatts, right? Let's say if someone says he is using a motor of 480 kilowatts, what does that mean? He means to say he is using 480 into 10 power 3 watts. So her time, like every time, it is difficult for us to say about 480 into 10 power 3 watts. So we simply say what? 480 kilowatt. Similarly, when you go to the power generation, the power plants will be generating a power of approximately, let's say, 500 megawatts. Okay, एक generator का capacity इतना हो सकता है. The capacity of generator can be this much, okay, or it can be more than this or less than this also. So when they are saying this 500 megawatts of generator, what do they mean is they are generating a power of 500 into mega means how much? 10 power 6. 10 power 6 joules of energy per second. Okay, so but it is not feasible every time for you to say 500 into 10 power 6 joule per second. So you can simply say it as 500 megawatts of generation, right? And similarly, when you try to understand very small structures, okay, like atomic level or us level पे जब हम जाते हैं, when we go to atomic level and all, we denote generally distance in terms of micrometers, nanometers, picometers, and femtometers, right? When you are saying that like it is 8 nanometers, 8 nanometers, what you are actually trying to say, you are trying to say this is 8 into 10 power minus 9 meters. Okay, but you won't say all the time it's 8 into 10 power minus 9 meters, or you can say 0.00000 up to 9 times and uske baad 8. You can say like that also, but saying 8 nanometers is very much easy for you and me, right? So that's why we use multiple and submultiple factors before each and every unit. And this is a small table which you must remember, because this thing is going to help you in maths, biology, physics, and chemistry, in all the subjects. Okay, to put it in a simple way, in science you will be hearing these terms again and again a lot. So I suggest all of you to remember this particular table. Unit of the one is, someone is asking what the symbol of micro. Generally it is represented by mu. Okay, micro ka symbol, this is what we call as mu. It's a Greek letter mu. You can pronounce it as like this, mu jaisa pronounce kar sakte. See, some few of you are requesting to teach me completely Hindi, and some of you are asking me to requesting me to completely teach in English. See, I'll be balancing both of you, okay? And at any time, if you are not able to understand what I'm speaking, you can raise the query in the chat, and I will adjust myself accordingly. Okay, so you need not worry about the language. I hope it is clear to the person who is asking this symbol of micro. Yeah, so let's proceed further. Now, let's come to the actual physics. So let's start with different types of physical quantities and what are their units and usko kaise measure karte hain. So how many types of physical quantities are there? Physical quantities are basically divided into two things, right? One is what we call as scalars, and the other one is what we call as vectors. Okay, but this is not as simple as what you are studying now. Actually, physical quantities are defined as different forms of tensors, which you will be studying in higher education. Okay, but at this stage that is not required for us. So only you will be coming to know about scalars and vectors. So scalars, what are scalars? Scalars are the physical quantities which have only magnitude but no direction, right? So scalars are the quantities which have only magnitude, no direction. What are vectors? Vectors are the physical quantities which have both magnitude and direction. Examples of scalars. Examples of scalars are what? You can say mass is a scalar, right? And distance is a scalar quantity. Time is a scalar quantity, because for all of these physical quantities, I need not bother about the direction, right? Yes, speed is also a scalar quantity, correct. Now, when it comes to vectors, what is a vector quantity? Displacement is a vector quantity. We will see the difference between distance and displacement, and velocity is a vector quantity, right, students? And weight is a vector quantity. There is a difference between mass and weight. I will come to that when I teach force, okay? Newton's laws of motion. I will come to the difference between mass and weight. I say mass is a scalar quantity and weight is a vector quantity, because weight is nothing but a force. Weight is equals to mass times the gravity, acceleration due to gravity, or mg. And g is a vector quantity, so mg is also a vector quantity. So weight is a vector and mass is a scalar quantity. Okay, students? Yes. If anyone is having any doubt, you can ask, okay, at any point of time. Now, there is a way we define vectors, okay, which you will be learning in your 11th class, but let us learn here itself. Let's say this is east, this is west, this is north, this is south. Okay, this is origin, or let us denote this by point O, and there is a point P over here. Okay, to go from O to P, or let's say this way. Let's say if you are at O, and if you want to go to P, okay, there is the shortest way between O and P is what? Simply drawing a straight line. Correct, students? So this is what we call as displacement, right? Because displacement is nothing but the shortest path possible. Yeah, I'll come to the difference between speed and velocity, distance and displacement, okay? And the difference between mass and weight in the further classes. But let us first see how do we represent vectors. Okay, vectors are represented by arrows, okay? If two vectors are represented, let's say O and P is one vector, and let's say A and B is another vector in this particular way. So this length of the vector indicates how large the magnitude of the vector is, okay? So length represents length of arrow, length of this represents magnitude of vector. Okay, and this is what we call as head of the vector, and this is called as tail of the vector. Okay, students. So when you are seeing this vector OP vector and AB vector, which one is larger? Clearly, you can say OP is a larger vector than AB. Yes, OP is a larger vector than AB. And the direction in which this arrow is pointing will show you the direction of the vector. Okay, and this arrow can be in any direction it can be. Okay, let's study the basic scalar quantities. Let's start with distance. Okay, so what is distance? Distance and displacement दोनों को पहले study करते हैं. Well, let's study both of these things separately. Let's say I'll erase these two. Let's say this is a friend of you went from, this is point A, this is point let's say C. One of your friend went from A to C along this path. Okay, he traveled 4 meters towards east, and then he traveled 3 meters towards north, and he finally reached point C. Okay, this is one of your friend. Let's say this is Rahul, someone. Okay, Rahul traveled this particular path, and there is one more friend. He traveled from A to C in a straight line. Okay, this is, let's say, Ravi. And there is one more friend. He has traveled from A to C in an entirely different path, and that is, let's say, he went in the form of a semicircle. Okay, let's say this is, Robert. Okay, so in this particular case, if you see, what is the distance traveled by Rahul? The distance traveled by Rahul is 7 meters, right? Because he has started his journey from A and he went to this point. He traveled a distance of 4 meters and then he traveled a further distance of 7 meters, right? So the distance traveled by Rahul is 7 meters. Right, students? Now, but what is the separation between Rahul's initial position and final position? If this is, let's say, 90 degrees, okay, if I say this is 90 degrees and this is 4, this is 3, if you apply your Pythagoras theorem, you will be getting this length as how much? This length as 5 meters. Applying Pythagoras theorem. So the initial separation between initial and final point के बीच में separation जो है, that is coming as 5 meters. So distance, we define it as, distance is the length of actual path traveled by object. Okay, so if we have to say the distance traveled by Rahul is 7 meters. Okay, and distance traveled by Ravi is how much? Distance traveled by Ravi is 5 meters. And distance traveled by Robert is how much? Distance traveled by Robert is, the radius of the circle is 5 by 2 and this circle length is pi r. So pi into 5 pi by 2. So this is going to be 5 pi by 2 because this is the length of this semicircle, right, students? So if you, this is clear for you, distance traveled by each person or each object. Now displacement, let us see displacement. Displacement क्या होता है? Displacement is it's the shortest separation between the final and initial position. Okay, or you can say it as shortest separation between final and initial positions. So in all three cases, no matter whichever path you choose, either you go from here to here, or you go from here to here, or you go from here to here, no matter what all paths you choose, the separation between final and initial position is going to be 5 meters itself, right? So the displacement in all the above cases is simply 5 meters. Okay, but the distance traveled by each object may be different, but if their initial and final positions are same, their displacements are going to same in all the cases. I hope this is clear for all of you, the difference between distance and displacement. Anyone having any doubt? Please raise your query in the chat. Okay, so I think no one is having any doubt. And one more thing that I can say is this scalar, this distance is a scalar quantity, and I am not bothered about the direction of the object when I am considering distance. Okay, and distance का SI units क्या है? Meters रहेगा. CGS units क्या है? Centimeters रहेगा. This is SI units and this is your CGS units. Clear? And displacement is a vector quantity. In this particular A to C, if I have to indicate the let's say vector, okay, displacement vector अगर मुझे indicate करना है, then I have to indicate it like this, A to C, because I'm indicating the tail at the initial position and head at the final position. So this is the displacement vector, and the length of this vector will be 5 meters. Clear, students? Yeah, this is the angle theta, and if you have to mention theta, tan theta, you can mention it as how much? 3/4 जैसा mention कर सकते हैं. This is the displacement vector of all the objects Ravi, Rahul, and Robert. Right, students? So we call this as a displacement as a vector quantity because we are bothered about both its magnitude as well as its direction. Okay, and SI units of this displacement is also in meters, and CGS units will be centimeters. Okay, this is SI units, this is CGS units. अच्छा, Robert case if you want me to explain, Robert case में क्या होता है? He is traveling in a semicircular path, right? Now what is the radius of this path? This is going to be 5/2 because this diameter of the circle is 5, right? So same perimeter or circumference of a circle कितना रहेगा? 2 pi r. For the whole circle it will be 2 pi r. For half circle it will be how much? Simply pi r, right? So pi into radius. Radius is 5/2. So I'm telling this length of this semicircle is how much? I'm saying it as 5 pi by 2. I hope that is clear to you. Is it clear to the student who is asking how it is? Okay, let's proceed further. Now you have a clear understanding of this distance and displacement. Now let's talk about speed and velocity. दोनों में difference क्या रहेगा? कि speed is defined as the rate of change of distance, or you can say it as distance upon time. Okay, the rate of change of motion is called as speed, or I can simply say as distance upon time taken it's just speed. Okay, and what will be the SI units of this speed? Distance SI unit is meters and times SI unit is seconds. So meter per second is the SI units of speed. Okay, or if you want to express this in terms of CGS units, you can express this in terms of centimeters per second. This is your CGS way of representing. And since distance is a vector quantity, distance is a scalar quantity, time is a scalar quantity, the speed is also a scalar quantity. Clear, students? Now let's talk about velocity. Velocity is defined as rate of change of displacement. Okay, rate of change of displacement. So I can write this as displacement upon time taken. Right, students? So displacement upon time, again, the SI units of this will be displacements, SI units is meters, time, SI units is seconds. So I can write this SI units as meter per second. Or if I have to express in CGS units, I will express this as centimeter per second. This is your CGS units. Clear, students? So let's take the previous case itself. Previous case may let us see what all things are happening. Let's say this is Rahul's path, right? This is 4 meters, this is 3 meters. Okay, this is point A, this is point C. So let's say Rahul took a time of for him the total time taken from here to here was 10 seconds. Let's say from here to here he is going to take 5 seconds. Okay, for Rahul it took 5 seconds of time to travel from A to C. So as per the given definition, what is the speed of the Rahul and what is the velocity of the Rahul? Speed of the Rahul is distance upon time. Distance traveled by Rahul is 7 meters, right? And the time taken by the Rahul is 5 seconds, right? So if I have to express its speed, I need to express as 7/5, and this is going to be how much? Let's keep it as it is. This is 7/5 meter per second. Clear? Now, when it comes to velocity, velocity is defined as displacement upon time. Now, the displacement of this Rahul is how much? The shortest separation between A and C, that is this length. This 4 meters, this is 3 meters, so this length is 5 meters. The velocity is displacement upon time, so 5 upon the total time taken is 5 seconds, so it is 1 meter per second. So This is the difference between speed and velocity. Speed is a scalar quantity, velocity is a vector quantity. Is this clear, students? Okay. Now you will be hearing these terms called average speed and average velocity. Okay. Actually, here you've calculated average speed. Okay. But let's define this. Not a problem. Average speed. What is average speed? Average speed is defined as total distance upon total time. Total distance upon total time taken to travel that distance. Again, its SI units will be meter per second, and this is a scalar quantity. And average velocity is what we define as total displacement upon total time taken. Okay, its units also will be meter per second itself. Now, in the previous case, what you have calculated are average speeds and average velocity of the objects. Now, let's say I'll give you one example. It will be clear with this example for all of you. Now, the example is, or if you try to solve this problem, a person has traveled from A to B in a semicircular path. Okay, the radius of the circle is 1 by pi. Okay, this is the radius of the circle. Okay, he's traveled from A to B in the semicircular path. First of all, I need answers for all these things. Okay, what is the distance traveled by the person? What is the displacement of the person? Okay, what is, let's say if he took a time of 2 seconds from going A to B. Okay, he took a time of 2 seconds from going A to B. What is average speed of the person? What is average velocity of the person? I need answers for all these four things. All of you please calculate and give me the answer in the chat. Good. Distance and displacement, most of you are saying correctly. Distance is what? Distance is the total distance from here to here. And this length is simply pi r. So pi into radius is given as 1 by pi. So distance is going to be simply 1 meter. Correct? What is displacement? Displacement is simply shortest separation between this initial and final position. So I need to calculate from here to here. Kitna rahega? Simply 2r, or the diameter of the circle. So I can say simply 2 by pi is the displacement. 2 by pi is the displacement. Now, what is the average speed? Average speed is nothing but total distance traveled by the object upon total time taken. So total distance traveled is 1 meter and total time taken is 2 seconds. So this is 0.5 meter per second is the average speed. And what is the average velocity? The average velocity is total displacement upon total time taken. So you can see this as total time displacement is 2 by pi and total time is 2. So this is going to come as 1 by pi. Average speed is 0.5 meter per second. Average velocity is going to come as how much? Total displacement upon total time. Total displacement is simply 2 by pi. Okay. And total time taken is 2 seconds. So average velocity is coming as 1 by pi meter per second. Anyone having any doubt in this question, students? Okay, I hope this is clear. Sorry. So give me the answer for this question also. Let's say a person started from A, okay, and again he completed one full round. This radius is, let's say, the radius is let's say 3 meters. Okay, he started running in a playground which is circular in shape of radius 3 meters, and then he came back to its initial position. Okay, the total time taken for this is let's say 10 seconds. Okay, again the question to is calculate the distance, displacement, average speed, and average velocity. Are you able to see the screen, students? See, you can keep the values in terms of pi, okay? Don't again calculate pi as into something. Yeah, my question was he completed one complete circle. फिर जहाँ से start किया वहाँ पे वापस आ गया. He came back to where he has already started. Yeah, that's good. So distance is how much? Distance is 2 pi r is the distance because one complete circle के circumference 2 pi r रहेगा. So r is 3. So I can say 6 pi meters is the distance, right? And displacement is how much? This is the initial position. This is initial position, and he started his journey, and he came back to this initial position again. So this itself is the initial position and final position. So the separation between them is 0. So displacement is how much? Displacement is simply 0. So average speed is how much? Total distance upon total time taken. So 6 pi by 10 is your answer for average speed. And average velocity is total displacement upon total time taken, and the answer is going to be 0 because displacement kitna ho gaya? 0. So average velocity is 0 over here. Five minutes. Clear, students? Yeah, so you have understood the concept. So all of you have answered correctly. The reason behind I am going this in a bit fast basis. These are all very basics, and you have a very clear idea about these things. You have studied in 9th and 10th class, so that's why I have gone with a little speed. So I'll be providing you material either through WhatsApp or Gmail IDs. Okay. So there are certain questions like 10 to 15 questions, very easy questions, just to brush up your knowledge of these things. So you can solve those questions, and if you have any doubts, we can discuss those questions in the class. Okay. Yes, students, I'll be stopping the class here. If anyone has any questions, you can ask, or if you want to leave the class, you can leave the class. We will meet again tomorrow. Tomorrow, same time. A time is a physical quantity. Time is not a dimension. Okay. I mean to say, yeah, if I don't want to go into depth about time at this stage, because if you, let's say, no, I'll tell there is a contradiction, not contradiction. There is a difference between what Newton said and what Einstein said. Okay, Newton said that time is constant irrespective of the frame of reference. Now, what is frame of reference? Why is it constant? Why not constant? That you will understand at a later stage when we discuss actual 11th class syllabus. जब हम start करते हैं, I will start teaching what is frame of reference and all. So according to Newton, if irrespective of your frame of reference, time is going to remain constant. But that is not what Einstein thought. In his theory of relativity, Einstein said that time depends on the frame of reference. उसका मतलब ये है कि if you are standing on Earth, for you the time will be different. If you are traveling in a spaceship with a light speed, for you the time will slow down. Okay, you can observe these phenomena if you have watched the movie Interstellar. For those who have watched Interstellar, the hero, when he goes to the other planet, comes back, his daughter will grow old near to 100 years, but he still looks quite young. So why that happens? For that, you need to understand theory of relativity. To understand theory of relativity, you need to understand basics kinematics. Basics kinematics understand करने के लिए आपको ये what we are discussing is necessary for. So yes, when I teach kinematics in class 11th, when I complete the relative motion, I will also take a class on this theory of relativity, through which you will be able to understand why, according to Newton, time is constant, why, according to Einstein, time is not constant, and all. Now, that's a very lengthy and in-depth topic. I don't want to discuss that at this stage. Any other question? Yeah, I won't be giving questions to you right now. I will be sending after the class to your WhatsApp or Gmail IDs. Yeah, what is instantaneous and speed and instant velocity? I will discuss that once I teach basics of differentiation and basics of integration. Okay, basic advanced mathematics का जरूरत है, of which you don't have idea right now. But I will discuss this in brief in tomorrow's class. What is instantaneous speed and what is instantaneous velocity? I will discuss that in tomorrow's class. Yes, any other question? If anyone wants to unmute and ask, you can raise your hand here. I will unmute you. Average velocity is, yeah, the total displacement upon total distance. It's more bothered about what is your initial position, final positions. If someone raised their hand, would you like to ask any question? Yeah, average speed is total distance upon total time, or it is basically it does not bother about your initial and final position. It bothers about how much distance you have traveled and in how much time you have traveled this or covered that distance. Whereas average velocity concerns about what is your initial position, what is your final position, and how much time you took to travel that displacement. So average speed is concerned about the distance and average velocity is concerned about the displacement. So yes, students, that's it for today's class. We'll meet again tomorrow.